Hey, good day, good day, good day. Welcome, everyone. Just give us 1 minute to get some technical geeky stuff out of the way. All right. And where are you at there? Good day, good day, good day. Well, welcome, everyone. That is,
There's two of you.
yeah, hear me. There we go. We are restreaming. Okay, so that side works. Ooh, I got to turn that down. That's my trading stuff going on.
You're not a
Alert.
trader.
Not a traitor, but I try to trade, right? Why won't this work here? All right, one sec, guys. There we go. That's one. Oh, really? Ah, darn it, Windows. Okay. And let me also verify this. This time I will see if Facebook is actually going live. Um, go live. Live. There we go. See, Restream should actually be restreaming then to Facebook. Persistent stream key is being used for another live happening now. Do you want to reassign it to this? Yes. Perfect. Okay. And then I should be able to go here. Sorry, guys. I've been trying to get this Facebook restream going for the longest time, and Facebook redid their stuff with their restream key, and it's just not liking everything. Okay, so I think
Fussy.
it could be. It totally is, man.
Like a
Totally.
newborn.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody got their stethoscopes. I was just
That's
playing
something
around
we'll
with
talk about
mine.
for sure.
Yeah, just prior to this, we were just chatting about that. So we still don't have a date yet for that. We'll get that going. Okay, I'm gonna just trust that. I'm gonna trust that Facebook is restreaming. So I'm not gonna putz around with that more. So awesome. Okay. Well, we're restreaming over to YouTube and we have everyone here on the live Zoom. So awesome to see everyone. So let me get rid of that waiting rooms. We got everybody joined and we are doing well here. Let me one more thing. Let's get rid of that. And perfect. So we don't have any trolls. Okay, cool. All right, guys. We are rocking and rolling. So thank you everyone for attending. Today is August 6th, 2024. So, anyone over in Facebook and YouTube land, thank you for joining over there. And as a reminder, anybody that does not know, we do hold these coherence meditations every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I mentioned, we do restream over to YouTube and Facebook. Our main channel is over at YouTube at the Cosmic Gaia Community channel, which is right there. The QR code over on the right, or my right, I should say, or left. I don't know. It reverts in the video. So we do hold our live via Zoom here. We would love to have you over here, add to the community, and it doesn't necessarily mean you need to share your video or anything. We'll just spotlight myself and Seth and go from there. So we do encourage everyone to also visit I'mAwakeNowWhat.com. You can sign up for the newsletter over there, and yeah, Freedom Snap. I pointed to the wrong one. So that's Cosmic Gaia Community Channel over here at Facebook. You can find the links to add the event weekly to your device's calendar. So you're notified every time we restream, as well as add that to your calendar, but also to sign up for that newsletter, which we are still merging over to our main URL right up there. I'mAwakeNowWhat.com. And while you're over there, guys, grab Seth's free book, PDF format, and you can also have it mailed to you in physical copy just for like $7 or something like that. The Fight to Enlight. And also, we did discuss the stethoscopes, ages 3 and up here. Perfect fit for myself. which we will be doing. We don't have a date assigned, but we are looking to hold a private session that's not restreamed over to Facebook and YouTube using our stethoscopes and listening to our heartbeat while we're actually doing coherence meditation and some other practices. So anyway, do please like, share, subscribe, send this out to anyone that you feel can benefit from this. Format of our coherence meditations for the first 10 to 15 minutes will be an intro like this, a little brief discussion, and then we'll go directly into the coherence meditations. Our recordings, in case you do miss any weekly events, do visit the Cosmic Gaia Community channel right over here on YouTube. We have all those recordings dating back to about a year and a couple months now, I think. That back to April or August. I forgot which month, but last year. So that's great.
April,
yeah, we've been at this a long time, and we're happy to do this free of charge. So last week's title, we had Navigating Through End Times. And wow, I don't know if anybody had a chance to check out that link. I know, Seth, you're still getting that, but how synchronistic that was for me to find that led directly into exactly what we are all here trying to remember in this lifetime as we navigate through this realm. So the title for this week is Empowered Choice for an Empowered Life. And if you do have a particular topic in mind, do feel free to reach out to Seth or comment down below, and we'll put it in queue. So I think that's just about it. So grab a water, get relaxed, and let's get this thing started. So great to see you again, Seth, this week. How are you, sir?
Oh my gosh. So grateful to do this with you, to have your help. It means a lot.
I'm the geek behind the scenes doing the IT stuff. Yeah, I know. I don't mind. I
Well, you're
love
not
it.
behind the scenes. That's why it's so funny, because when he first told me he was going to do this, I didn't know. We went live and he started doing the introduction. I was like, wow, okay, let's do it. I thought
Hey,
I would do it.
put yourself out there, right? Like I think
It's
that
great.
everyone here, we have something to contribute. We are all creators. So let's get out there and let's create, you know? That's what it's all about.
It's exciting. And, to bring out the best in each other. Like, this isn't about me or you, or like, yeah, to the degree that we take responsibility for what we are and to intentionally create a relationship with this miraculous life force that everybody and everything is. But when we do that and we create that coherence, that synergy between who we think we are and what we are, then we just naturally want to go and inspire others to do it. And we don't even have to talk. We create these internal states of coherence that we talk about, and people feel it. They don't necessarily know how to articulate what they're feeling, but they know something is happening. And in that is the power of it. Because when we're in a state of full body, heart, brain, all our organs and glands, everything is synchronized and working together. When we are in that state and we are sustaining it, that is breaking the addiction to stress, something that has been normalized for our species, for who knows how many generations. The world is meant to stress us out. And if we're not conscious of that, then we naturally go along with it. And it rewires our entire sense of self so that our predominant state of being is stress. Ooh, Michael said, Contra
Contra
Republic. What is
Republic.
that? Is it? It's not Africa, is it? It sounds fascinating. I don't know. I don't know about all these names and cities anyway. It's all just alive. It's one world. But when we get into these states and we sustain it, we break the addiction to stress, we reclaim our ability to be consciously in harmony with this life force that is making our body work, whether we're sleeping or awake. And when we get back into that state, we break the addiction to stress. Suddenly, our our higher virtues, or like when we were children, the awe and wonder and excitement of being alive, the world suddenly becomes a fascinating place. And there's new things to discover all the time. And most children, especially if they're not abused, are in that state. They're not afraid of what's unknown, or if they are, they're willing to face it. They're willing to learn because, again, with awe and mystery and everything in the world, that is so much closer to our natural state of being than all the stress, all the drama, all the lies, all the beliefs, even the languages that we all speak were taught to us by institutional systems that we have normalized. Everybody has. So when we get back into these states that we do together, then we start to remember, kind of like Greg said. We remember, we go back into the awareness of life force, just like every single one of us, when we were conceived and we started to grow, right? We're this little salamander looking thing. Every single one of us, at some point, self-awareness begins to develop, if not right away. And then from that place of growing, of gestation, and then emerging out into the world through our mothers, we are pure consciousness. There is something aware. It is aware, it is awake, and it is self-aware. And none of the things that everybody stresses out about every day, none of that was there. And every single one of us has that in common. All of us. We all came from a place of purity. Yeah, you could say, oh, there's past lifetime stuff. There's all kinds of what if, all these different possibilities. But why overcomplicate it? And that's why in my own life, I realized when I was younger, I would rather just focus on what I know rather than try to make up all kinds of belief systems and like ideas and scenarios about stuff that may or may not be true. But why give all of our sacred attention, this miraculous life force that is animating our being, that causes the heart to beat? It allows us to perceive reality through these bodies. That is, my God, talk about sacred, talk about something to pay attention to. And most people there, they don't really pay attention to that. They don't, it's not anything that they think is that important. So we're going to change that, just like so many others have. And the only difference now compared to all the sages and teachers of the past, we've come to a place likely that within all known history, which is a pretty small thing to say anyway, because whatever our known history is still is only this big, no matter how many generations we go back, to realizing that when you go outside at night and you look at the stars and you just see infinite suns and systems, like, look at where we are. So our life force comes from that. Are we going to choose to allow that connection to this life force to be what influences us? Or are we going to turn on the news and get all stressed out, get in our car, drive to work, get all stressed out, see the same people that make us upset and all that has been normalized? No, done with that. We're breaking that addiction. But the thing is we can still do all of that, especially in the beginning. The idea is that we gave our birthright to be in a state of whole body, whole soul, heart and brain, full body coherence, meaning our body systems are all working together and we're feeling it and we're aware of it. And in that, we connect to our real power, which is to become conscious of the magnificence of this intelligent energy field that every single one of us is. I mean, talk about exciting. Talk about like we all have been brought to this place together where right now, here we are. The world is in a position that it's never been probably in who knows how long. All of our ancestry and recorded history, there's never been this many individuals alive with all these cities and populations of them and all the belief systems, the every single thing to do with it, the religions, the politics, the power structures, which interestingly, no matter what the politics or belief systems are, it all comes back to business. It all comes back to corporations. That is what is happening in our world. And these corporations don't function like living organisms. They function like broken, clunky machines that destroy everything in their path. And somehow that's been normalized. Do we need all that trash? Do we need all the things that the world teaches us we have to buy? Or can we start breaking the addiction to all that stuff? Because instead we're prioritizing our self-interest in becoming more self-aware and becoming aware of the life force that's allowing us to be aware. And when we approach that like it's a relationship that we love, that we're passionate about, and we start to be present in that relationship, we start to communicate and bounce back and forth like, whoa, okay, this is amazing. And oh my God, I can't believe how powerful we are, to, oh my God, I'm totally traumatized. I've been through all kinds of stuff. Can you help me? You know, when we talk to our life force, when we communicate to it, with all of what we are, with all of our majesty, our selfless majesty, or with all of our pain and trauma, doesn't matter. We all have that. And what does matter is the connection, the way we nurture that relationship. Because when we nurture that relationship and we make an effort to show up, to be present with what is causing our heart to beat, at some point, that energy starts to reciprocate. It starts to love us back. And from there, the sky's the limit, really. Look up at night. Imagine what it would be like to be consciously connected and aware of what all that is, and to feel how all of these gigantic forces, these cosmic forces that keep all these planetary systems in coherence and together, who and what would we be if we were conscious of being a part of all that and being supported by it? Who we would be are individuals that don't care about buying a bunch of trash. We don't care about eating garbage and making ourselves sick and all the other people and children and everything in the world that suffers because we prioritize consumerism more than our conscious relationship to life. So I don't want to, I'll slow that down because I'm just so passionate about life, about what's happening, about where we have the potential to go. And probably like many of you, there is a knowing deep inside that it's time for us to get in tune with what is really happening, our own inner nature. When we get in tune with that, then nature herself, the world around, supports us. It opens up our levels and lines of communications that far exceed these languages that we speak. You know, like English. This language we're speaking right now is a war strategy language. That's what it evolved from. Imagine if you could communicate with everybody, everywhere, just because you're so in love with life and you're smiling and you're embodying the facts, you're embodying reality, truth. You're so aware that you're not just up here thinking about everything that bothers you. You are in and around the totality of these bodies. And again, when we get into those states of being and we start to sustain it because we're in love with it, we're in a relationship that we're so passionate about that we keep coming back to it. And it shows us how to sustain it longer and longer. So with that said, before we get into the meditation, I just wanted to touch on these stethoscopes because Greg and I were talking about it. And for those who don't know, for a long time, I realized like you get a pair of stethoscope, or actually it's not a pair, right? It's one stethoscope. But
Just
what would
one.
you call it?
Yeah.
Not a pair of
Yeah.
stethoscope. Anyway, when you
Well, it
get
comes in a pack of two, guys. So if you actually want that link, where do you have that posted? That's on the Facebook page, right? You got it in the Signal. You post it on Amazon.com link. It's only like $10, for a
2 for
pack of
10,
two. So
yes,
yeah, I mean, I'd like to add also like that. Yeah, I mean, we started back a year and a couple months ago, whatever, as heart brain coherence. So I guess this brings that kind of to fruition, I guess you could say, to actually put this down to your heart. But man, I mean, the past since then, it's just been so much more even just than heart brain coherence. It's digging deeper to as to like who you are,
yeah.
and it kind of even again it goes back to that video I just watched last week, but I found another video. I'll actually send you that video too. It's actually quite intriguing.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, to what you were saying there, his history, I guess, whose story is that, right?
Yeah.
So I
It's
mean,
all
let's
story.
make our own history, and you may as well call them corpsorations, right? Because they're basically
Sadly,
they're dead entities. So let's get to the land of the living here and create, right? So
we
yeah,
are.
tell everybody about this. I just got mine the other day. I set it up. I still have to adjust it. I wasn't able to hear my heartbeat, but I'm living. So
Well,
there are going
now
to be
you
some
do, right?
caveats around that. What's
That's
that?
really all I want to say for everybody that ordered these 2 for $10. They're the only ones I've ever been able to find that actually you can keep in your ears and that are relaxing. Unlike ones like this, that was $100. You know, it looks more heavy duty. Yeah, it works, but there's no way to prevent it from just like jarring into your ears. And I bought many, many of them, and none of them worked. But I was almost about to give up, and just like a lot of stories go, right at my wit's end. And all of a sudden, I see 2 for $10, kids stethoscope, 2 flavors, blue and pink. Sorry, I try to make it joking. But when I saw that, I ordered it. Why not? It showed up. I pulled it out, put it in my ears, and it was jarring in. But then I was able to take this part, this little steel thing, and bend it so that it's easy and comfortable to be in your ears. And I haven't been able to do that with any of the other ones. Like this won't do it. I don't know what they make them with, but they go right back. Oh, Greg put the link to it. Excellent. So really all I want to say about this is for everybody who bought them, the way to make this work is you get it so it's comfortable. You just bend this bar. And then this sensor is really important. You put it on your direct skin, underneath your left breast or pec or whatever you want to call it, pretty much like right there. You put this thing up to your body, right basically over where your heart is. And there's 2 things that can be done because it needs to be touching your skin, all of it needs to be touching it. And so you can get 2 big band-aids, so that it can hold it right there in place, because we want it to just be in there so you can listen to it without thinking about having to keep it in place.
And
So
then this is just for anybody who wants to get a head start. We'll have like all the instructions and everything on our session that we'll be doing. We're still debating upon a date. I guess what, maybe within the next 3-4 weeks or so.
yeah.
Okay.
And sorry,
So
not to keep going, but yeah, the other thing too, do that, wear them there and put a band-aid on, or just lay back. Because Greg was just telling me this himself. Couldn't hear his heartbeat. And the way to do that too, the other way is, if you don't want to put band-aids on it and tape it to yourself, you just lay back on a bunch of pillows and you take a book or something so that it holds it in place. I know it's not optimal, but we're working with this. I don't know why I don't know why people have never done this. Maybe I guess we're the ones to, but when you hear your heartbeat and you start to entrain your awareness to the heartbeat, boom, 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 and you can hear that when you're stressed out, bump, bump, it's beating harder and harder. But when you start to calm your breathing down, your heartbeat slows down. Before long, you can feel your heartbeat and the pulse anywhere in your body. So I just want to, that's where it all begins. So get them, or if you already have them, just do like we are saying, either put some big band-aids to hold it up or lay back and put a book over it. All right,
cool.
I'm done for that for now. So tonight is a great meditation, or today, you're in the Pacific time zone. It's like 3:30 there right now, right?
Sure is.
It's day, it's night, depending where we are. So my friend Candace, who we've been communicating a lot and finding ways to be of service to our own life path, to our own conscious connection to reality, this life force. And she pointed out something that was really obvious. Like, if there's anything we really have, it's choice. And what kind of choice? What do we have for choices? Kind of like what I was just talking about. We have the choice to choose where we want to focus our attention. And if we don't make the choice to focus on the things that we prioritize and that matter to us, then if we don't make that choice, we still have made a choice, as cliche as that sounds, because when you are not choosing to be conscious of your consciousness, of the life force that's animating this miraculous body that each and every one of us share, when we choose to be in tune with life and to continue to choose when we get knocked off balance or the world takes us down or whatever, when we have the ability to get right back up because we've created a habit of being in tune and in love and in awe over this life force, that's how we bounce back quick. And without going into all these stories, I had to learn all of this in a very difficult way. And the great thing about that is no one has to do that. This isn't difficult at all. It's actually really simple. The thing is to habituate it, to make a habit of it. So let's go into this meditation and we're going to calm down. I'm going to calm down. And we'll touch into why choice is so empowering or so destructive if we're not choosing. So wherever you are, just calm your whole being. You can be sitting up, can be lying down. Wherever you are, just let whatever you're sitting in, your chair, or what you're lying on, your bed, the floor, wherever you are, just kind of make a decision inside of yourself that you are supported. The chair, the bed, the floor, it's there to support all of your weight so that you can relax fully. And so as you get settled in to whatever surface you're on, really make an intention inside of you to relax, yeah, every muscle in the body, every organ and gland that's in the core of your body. Relax all of that. And you could say that the most direct and powerful way to relax all of this is to relax your nervous system. And all that really means is to relax the energy in your body. And we know what that energy is. It is our life force. It is this intelligence that knows how to operate all of these complex systems of our body. It knows how to operate it, whether we do or not. And without having to overthink it, just relax all of that energy. Because in these bodies, that energy is the closest thing you could say to the source of our life force. And that source can be the quantum field, it can be Jesus, it can be life force, whatever it is in you that you turn to when you realize that there not only is a higher power operating our bodies and this world, you realize that that higher power is really an inner power. So when you come to that realization in your own time and in your own way, then suddenly you surrender the part of you that's stressed out about everything in the world around you. And you surrender that feeling that everybody and everything around you in the world is putting pressure on you and on everything else, because most of us don't know any better. These stress cycles have been here way longer than we have. and they get passed down generation through generation. But yet, we all were pure. We all were happy and in love. Or if not, we were in awe. Every single one of us had good things to focus on. We had an interest of playing, of just being in a state of awe and wonder. And most of us were really uninhibited. We could yell and scream and laugh and play and really express ourselves without much inhibition. For the most part, that purity and our connection to our love, our playfulness, our wonder, and our ability to be so interested in everything happening that we didn't really have that many hang-ups. Most kids, even if they're shy, most are more playful than they are withdrawn if they're not abused. And so when we get disconnected from that, meaning we start to grow and we learn how to talk these languages and we start to form self-identity around concepts, ideas, and belief systems about what this world appears to be as it is taught through all these languages. And without even knowing it, we begin to accept that who and what we are as something very small. And interestingly, something very self-centered. And so many people are quite selfish because that's what this world teaches us to be. And we lose our sense of purity and connection for a language and all the belief systems that come with it. So when we arrive at that place where we remember that something empowering is happening in our world and in us, when we arrive at that place, we are presented with a choice. For me, it's the most important choice I could ever have. And it's so simple. And it's like we were talking about, it's a choice to surrender the part of you that is suffering or stressed out, and surrendering that part of you back into the purity and the intelligence of the life force that each one of us truly is, and that everything around us in the world comes from. So many people have lots of different conflicting emotions or thoughts and beliefs and behaviors and actions. But when we have those little aha moments, no matter how brief they are, even if they're not that powerful, but it's enough to bring you to a place where you know that something else is happening, something that is very mysterious, and something that in and of its own essential nature, it wants life to thrive. It wants life to be robust. It wants us to be so in tune with our life force that we can rise above any situations or circumstances that up until these points where we realize we can make this choice. So all the things that brought us here, all the people, places, things in our day-to-day, moment-to-moment world and our awareness, we have unknowingly given our power away to something without even realizing it. And we give this power of purity away to all of these stressful ideas because that's what most of our family members have done. That's what most of the people in our world have unconsciously consented to, meaning all of the things that we have learned in these bodies, in this world, it happened quite gradually. So most of us didn't realize that we gave our power of purity away to something very limiting, something that's really quite isolated, even though it's been so normalized. We essentially take our awareness and we invest it into all the systems of this world. And we give our attention to something that creates stress and that holds that power over us. But when we have these little aha moments, then possibly for the first time since we unknowingly consented to letting our sense of self be formed from this stress, when we remember that, when we realize it, or when we just happen to discover it without even intending to, or maybe we were intending to, but when we have those moments, we are gifted the opportunity to choose to continue developing our self-awareness with these moments that bestow faith and trust in the ability to bounce back from whatever stress or addiction or detrimental habits. When we choose to be aware of all that we are and realizing that all of it is an extension of this purity that's within us. When we realize that, we choose to make a habit. Maybe it starts out at just 5 minutes a day, or even a minute, where we choose to take a little bit of time out of our normal lives and all of these things that can derail us without us even knowing about it. When we make a commitment to knowing ourselves as the life force we are, and to exercise that knowing so that we can become more intimate with it. And maybe for the first week, commit 1 minute a day. And then something happens to inspire us. Keep doing it. And maybe it's only 2 minutes a day. But whatever it is that we choose to make a commitment to, whether it's brief moments throughout our day, or for sitting down and getting into coherence, mindfulness, heartfulness, when we prioritize this relationship that we are not separate from. We just had a little hiccup of amnesia where we never lost it, because how could we? We are that. We just forgot the power of this purity. And even as kids, when they grow up and they realize Santa Claus isn't real, or unicorns aren't real, the tooth fairy isn't real, things like that happen to all of us. And so when we learn about these things that we were so enchanted by, suddenly we start to dull our response to life, and we trade in that awe and wonder like there's no more mystery in the world. It's just 9 to 5, 5 days a week, working for the weekend, people pleasing, trying to make everybody you work for or with or your family members. You committed to living a life based upon everybody and everything external to you. But when you make this choice to entrain your perception of reality with this miraculous life force, when you choose to be influenced by it, then not only do you start to get back in tune with the miracle of life that has always been with us. When we tune back into that as what society calls as adults, meaning we grew up, we had all this awe and wonder, and then we had to grow up because that's what the world wants us to do. And we gave our power of purity and possibility away. And so by the time we give it away, we're just one more person trading in our life force to make money. We literally are prioritizing money more than our conscious awareness of this miraculous life force. And so how is that any different than not worshiping or connecting to this life force? What if we are taking all of this power and we are worshiping something that right from the get-go created disconnection? So we're taking all of this beautiful, sacred attention that comes from the awe and mystery of reality, and we are focusing more on things in the world external to us than the very thing that allows us to be aware of it in the first place. But now we realize that. And so we're totally choosing, making a choice to reverse that trend, to literally reverse our world in the sense that we are going back to the purity and that power of awe that we all came into this world with. And So the more we choose to prioritize this relationship, the more this relationship shows us that it can cause all these systems of our body to work, whether we are awake or asleep. If it can do all of that, then how could it not guide us in a world that appears to be so disconnected from that? But if it can do all of this, created us, all these systems, these cosmic systems of reality that are external to us, or the exact opposite, this microscopic view of the world beneath our feet, and the bacteria and the little bugs and animals and everything below us that are all really in tune with nature. When we choose to get back in tune with that, the world below our feet and around our entire bodies, on top of a living being, you could say, that is in space, as far out there as that seems. We are literally connected to something that has a very close relationship to much greater cosmic forces around it, where it has its place. It has its relationships to other celestial bodies. The exact same thing is happening with us, to us, for us. There is this great miraculous power that when we choose to focus on, it chooses to support our efforts to focus on it. And especially now in the world, because we all are this, but so few focus on it. But the ones who suddenly decide to choose to start focusing on it, this greater life force is paying close attention to those who are breaking off from the herd, those rare individuals. There's plants everywhere, but most of them don't flower. And so those flowers stand out. Or like rock, there's rock everywhere, but only smaller amounts have crystallized. When we choose to break out of the status quo and to reharmonize ourselves with what was always with us, we become like that flower or that crystal. And the crystallization or the flowering or the blossoming of all these different natural objects or life forms the ones that break out of that have power. Like quartz, it's used for every clock, every computer, all comes from the silica that is crystalline, because its structure can receive and emit higher levels of frequency, of piezoelectric charge. And it's the same thing for us. When we start to be in tune with what nature is and what we are, our capacity to receive and generate and emit energy of greater amplitudes than all of the normal ones around us in the world. This is where our power is. This is how we not only get out of all the stress that we unconsciously accepted as who we are. When we choose to get back into that, then our ability to make choices from that place gets stronger. And when we make these choices and we feel these parts of ourselves and we experience the empowerment that comes with it, then we obviously and naturally are going to continue to make choices that synchronize our sense of self with this power that we already are. And when we do that, we are literally on the front lines of our own personal evolution through this world with everybody and everything. When we make these choices, others in the world are influenced by it, and they naturally want to create space or inner or outer environments so that they can start to get closer to those rare flowers or crystals that, with their natural power and beauty, are influencing the exact same component or frequency of this life force in all of us. So with all of that said, relax your energy even deeper in your body. By now, you know you are energy. You feel this energy. And with that, you have the right to choose what this energy that is you, that is in you. You get to choose how you want it structured, because you are doing it from a place of purity, from a place of power. And just as we were created, we have been bestowed with the ability to create And if we only had one choice in this world, then we can choose where we're going to focus our attention. And if we don't make that choice, we still have made a choice. But choosing to make the choice to get back in tune with our own inner nature and how our awareness of this inner nature begins to equalize and stabilize all the systems in our bodies, our vagus nerves, our respiratory system, our endocrine glands, all of our vital organs, all of the plexus centers that are wired throughout our entire body that look more like natural rivers and streams than machines. When we choose to get back into that awareness and connected to it, that's when we start to become aligned with the greater reality, which is coherence. It is organized and mutually supporting itself. And as we've touched upon in the past, there is chaos. And that chaos is a part of life. And it needs to be there for life to grow. But rather than trying to hide from the chaos of our own minds and of the judgments of others, instead of hiding from it, we face it. And no matter how uncomfortable it is, we feel it. We're not pushing it aside anymore. We are choosing to face what is so stressful for so many because we know we made a choice to get back in tune with the predominant coherent energy of our bodies, that it's all through this natural world. So we're ready to bounce back, to thrive in the face of a complete adversity. So you're totally relaxed. Your breathing naturally slowed down. You've let the resistance or pain that always seems to be there in different parts of your being, you've relaxed that. And perhaps the most empowering choice we can make from a state of calm, a body that is calm with awareness that is bright. One of the most empowering choices we could ever make is to put an inner smile on our face. We can smile ear to ear if we want, or we can just put a little smile inside of our mouth just for us to feel the effect of choosing to put that smile on your face, in your face. Because when you choose to do that in a body that is completely relaxed, with awareness that is bright, the feeling of that smile is you choosing to change your body chemistry right out of the gate. As soon as you put that smile on or in your face, you're flicking the switch of being happy for no reason at all and feeling it. You did this by choice. And in that choice, you immediately change your body chemistry. And the more you choose to do that while your body is relaxed, the more all of this purity, power, and the potency of this power starts to come back alive in you. And the little child that felt these things early in each of our lives starts being rejuvenated. And now that we're older, when we turn that part of ourself back on, we finally start coming full circle just in this life alone. And we're coming full circle back to the purity that each of us emerged into this world with. And when we make that a habit personally, and the habit starts to stick, meaning our state of coherence, of calm, of peace, and through the immediate switch that the smile puts in your body chemistry, it's really that simple. But you got to make the choice to do it. And you keep making that choice over and over and over until it becomes second nature. And then eventually it becomes your first nature. And when that starts to happen, not only does the awe and mystery of your own life begin to come back to you, but even more powerfully, this feeling of intentionally upgraded, happy, healthy, loving intentions start to amplify the life force that is in your body. And who's to say that you can't amplify it beyond the galaxy or beyond all the pain and suffering that our species inflicts or has been affected by throughout our lives, our ancestors? Who is anybody to tell us that we don't have the ability to rise above all of that? Because we do. This life force that is so brilliant wants you to amplify it. And when you amplify it, it returns in favor and it starts to reciprocate by causing a greater flow of this life force throughout every part of your body, through your bone marrow, through all your vital organs, and you amplify the energy that is already there, and the systems and all of the things that were painful or stressful or that you felt resistance from. Suddenly, that energy balances all those parts of you out so that those old things can begin to release from you. And as they release, you learn to grow and evolve beyond this language, beyond the lifestyles that so many of us live every day in society. When you make this choice over and over, you amplify this God force, this life force, this quantum field that is animating us. And when you intentionally amplify yourself by choice alone, and the natural world supports you doing that, who's anybody to say that you can't change an entire generation? We can. Even though it seems like it would take a miracle to change the destructive patterns of our world, it does take a miracle, and that miracle is already happening. All the death, fire, chaos, destruction, everything in the world around us that we have normalized, that is all an extension of us creating a world that we were unintentional about because we didn't know we had the choice to create something else. But now we do. And when enough of us start choosing that individually and together, watch how quick others are going to respond. Watch how immediately this life force starts to affirm in you your commitment to knowing yourself as you truly are, as this energy. Just like the Amazon jungle and thriving ecosystems like that, just as they are interwoven with this energy from the web of life itself, it is thriving, it is growing, it wants to push itself to new possibilities of what it creates. And the exact same thing is happening to us, for us. And what are we going to create? We are going to create what we choose to create, supported by the harmony of our being in harmony with the natural world around us. Or if we don't choose that, then we just go along with the status quo. We act like we're a victim, like this is just the way it is, and we don't have a say about it. When in reality, we have everything to say and do and relate to it with. So before we come out of this, let yourself just totally bask in the glory of the feelings that our time together has created in you. Whether you feel like your entire body is glowing or that most of your pain has disappeared, or even if it's just you got one little aha moment from our time together, memorize the feeling of that. And even if it's just short little attempts made once a day, commit to that. And as you get more affirmation that what you are doing is making you healthier and more in alignment with life force, then you're naturally going to create choices that support this. So for those who want to stay in these states that we created here tonight together, you can hang up from this call. And everybody here who wants to come into a more alert state while sustaining all this energy that we created in ourselves and together with each other. Stay totally relaxed. Keep your awareness bright so that it's almost like two polarities being balanced. Your body's so relaxed, it could almost go to sleep, but your mind is wide awake. And in the middle of that is your heart. And it's the great equalizer, the great balance. And when we create these levels of conscious connection to what it is that is truly happening, the better at it we get. And the more our choices begin to stem from this relationship, and we begin to inspire ourselves because we feel inspired, and we start to choose to remain inspired and to keep taking action steps to be more and more influenced by the miraculous nature of this life force that we are, that we have always been, and that our temporary amnesia is being placed and replaced by our memory coming back, remembering the feeling of what life feels like when it's created. That's not a one-time event. It's not an event that's just focused on reproduction. That feeling that goes into creating life is animating every single bit of our entire body. And we can feel almost exactly like that and sustain it. And there's nothing bad or sinful or any of that in it. That's the old stuff. It's the old belief systems. We are choosing to get back into harmony with this together. So from this place, total relaxation, bright awareness, and self-love that at its minimum, it just feels like smile on your face, and your heartbeat is pulsing it throughout your entire body. Give yourself one last pat on the back. Memorize whatever it was tonight that was gifted to you, if you want to call it that. And keep revisiting it, remembering the feeling of it. And that becomes the new foundation for you to begin building the sense of self that you know you are, that you know you can be, that you know everybody has the potential to be, because it is the only thing that is truly going on. And the chaos is just the one-way train of us not choosing where we're going to place our attention. So from all of this, start to rub your hands together, create friction, get them nice and hot. And before we're going to take these warm palms and put them over our eyes, I want everybody to pay close attention to when you do cover up your eyes. Just see if you can see or sense something when you're in the dark, and memorize that if you do. So when your hands are hot, take the palms of your hand and cover them over your eyes. And notice if you sense anything inspiring. Keep that inner smile going, even if that's the only choice you make. Keep smiling and sustaining the feeling of it. It is the best thing any of us could do for our health. And please like, love, tag, share, help us get the word out there. Greg, as always, thank you so much. Candace, thank you for inspiring tonight's meditation. Get your stethoscope, blue or pink. You can get both if you want. And let's keep working together.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Seth, as always. And thank you, Candace. Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody. See you next week.
One
Okay.
little quick thing. These are actually what I've used. I mentioned this several times in case anybody does not know from previous conversations. I actually use these. These are Bluetooth speakers. They're just little hockey pucks. I put a link for the Amazon link in the chats down below. Right now they're like $70 or so, but these are pretty amazing actually. And what I foresee these also helping with is that if we are using these right here and we're laying down, what I do, I put these on my left and right in my bed. I got the full stereo surround sound effect, and we'll also see Seth and I will maybe work out maybe some kind of surround sound, I don't know, audio frequencies or something. Maybe we can actually broadcast at the same time that we're doing the stethoscope exercises. So we'll kind of research that. Don't know if the streaming platforms will allow that based upon the software. Leave
Hey,
it up
you're
to
a
me. I'll
tech
check it
guy,
out.
right? If
Yeah,
anybody can make that stuff work, it's going to
I've
be
been
you.
I've been looking around different platforms, but I mean, Zoom is a preferred choice, so I'll see with what I have, see if it's possible. So,
I got to say before we go, it's so funny because you're talking and you're wearing it there, and people in our modern world are so interested in spirituality, right? Like it has a look to it. Many people believe we are the look. It's always been like that. But as you're wearing that, I'm like, wow, it's kind of like spiritual gangster.
I'm gonna go around and listen to everybody's heartbeat now with the 3-year-old stethoscope.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll try to get my third eye to tell me something here. No, actually, during that meditation, I did test it out, and you're right. I pushed it down so it actually is more pronounced. Like on your rib cage, the lower part of your
Yes.
rib cage, and I can hear my heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Awesome. So I
It's
can see how
amazing.
you do need to actually press it down in order to hear it with these.
Yeah.
But
We'll get
very
those
excited.
details
I'm
figured
getting
out.
excited to have our sessions with these. So
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you everyone for attending this. Please do like, share, and subscribe over there in Facebook land, and definitely share that out in I'm sorry, YouTube land, but also share that out
All
in
of them.
Facebook. Thank you everywhere. Let's get to the millionth, right?
Yes, the million month. You know, and we'll say that too, because we've talked about it a bit. And why not? Right? If we're surrounded by stars, we can aim for the stars. Let's get 1 million people meditating regularly, not a one-time event. Let's get 1 million people doing all of this coherence meditation regularly. Every week we're doing this multiple times throughout the day. It's not really that big of a goal.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great